Hello! Hope you guys are all okay and all good. Welcome to another video. My name is George. For those of you who don't know, feel free to subscribe down below if you're not already. And today, we're going to do a little book haul. We are solidly into the second week of me making content again. Are you proud of me? The only really acceptable answer is yes. So I thought I'd do a book haul today. This is sort of an August book haul. It's sort of these are the books that I've acquired possibly since we last spoke. There's probably some that I'm missing. But these are the ones that I have kind of like scavenged from my shelves, and therefore the ones that I'm going to be talking about today. Let's start with the ones that I bought. So first up is Summer at the Kindness Cafe by Victoria Walters. Victoria Walters is a very good friend of mine, and this was originally released in 4 ebooks. This was originally released in 4 parts on Amazon and other ebook places that are available in ebooks. It's about a small town outside of London with this cafe in it called Brew, where there's this little pin board where people put random acts of kindness. I think the original title of the series on Amazon is Random Acts of Kindness, and it's like 4 parts in that, and then they released it as a full book in June, like a full ebook in June, and then they released the published edition this year. So this is her new book. She is the author of oh my god, what is it called? Oh my god, I've totally forgotten the name of the book. That is terrible. Oh my god, The Second Love of My Life, which was published by Headline. This is published by Simon & Schuster. It's proper summer reading. I'm really looking forward to getting into it. There's also an audiobook available if you are that way inclined. But I'm really looking forward to reading this. Vicky is a wonderful writer, and I love her to pieces. So I'm excited for this. She also has a new book coming out. I want to say it's in September, or maybe it's in October, which is called Christmas at Glendale Hall. I think it's called that. Either way, I'm going to put the cover there. You can have a look at it, which is published by Hera Books, which is being published as an ebook. And I think there will be a physical edition, but I don't know what the situation with that is. But that is coming out in September. This is out now from all good retailers. I got mine in Sainsbury's. But yeah, so this is the first thing that I bought this month, or the first thing that I remember buying since I last spoke to you. I've not bought a lot of books. There's not been a huge amount of time in my life, as you can probably understand. The next thing that I bought is 2 things. So the next 2 things that I bought were Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt by Chuck Wendig and Star Wars Aftermath Empire's End by Chuck Wendig. Now, I bought these in Aldi, I believe, for like $2.99 each or something ridiculous. And the reason that I bought these is because I'm on a real Star Wars kick. Or when I bought them, I was kind of really feeling my Star Wars oats, and I am still, because the trailer to The Rise of Skywalker has come out and I'm excited. So I bought those and was like, so I went in there and I saw that they had these, and I was looking for the first one and I couldn't find the first one, and I thought, do I buy these and then get the first one later? Yes, I will. So I bought these. I've not bought the first one yet. I downloaded the audiobook of the first one and I started listening to it at the gym this morning. Really good so far, by the way. So I started listening to that. And it's really good, so I'm glad that I have these that I can go into afterwards. These are set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, so it's sort of filling in the gap of the fall of the Empire, the rise of the New Republic, and where all that goes, and kind of how that transpires. There's also like a couple more books that come in between, including one about Captain Phasma, and one called Bloodline, which is about Princess Leia, I believe, which I might also be reading. I remember when I was younger, I used to be really into the novelizations of the Star Wars films. Like I would read the novelizations of like The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I read those. Please don't hate me too much. They came out while I was growing up. That was my introduction to Star Wars was the original trilogy, but like I enjoyed them when I was younger because I already loved Star Wars, and so I enjoyed those because they were just fun. I've not really watched them since I was very, very young, so I can't remember how good or bad they are. I just know that the internet doesn't like them very much. Anyway, tangential, but I was really into the idea of reading some more Star Wars books, because I'm in a very Star Warsy place in my life at the moment, and I really like it. I love it a lot. I really, really love Star Wars, and I'm really excited for the new film. So I'm going to try and get through all of these, and possibly even Phasma and Bloodline before the new film comes out, because I want to watch Force Awakens and Last Jedi before Rise of Skywalker to kind of really get myself in the mood. So I might do that at some point. But yeah, Chuck Wendig. By the way, the production value on the audiobook so far, I've already mentioned this, like I started making like a reading vlog situation because apparently that's what people do now. So I started making a reading vlog, so this is going to be repetitive as hell, but the production value on that audiobook is insane. There's sound effects, there's music, the reader is really great, can't remember who it is, I think his name's Mark Thompson. If that's not right, I'll put it here, but that might be right. But yeah, the production value on it is freaking ridiculous. So that's kind of exciting. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting just to be read to. But actually it makes it really immersive and immediate, which is freaking cool. Sorry, I'm floofing my hair. Yes, so those. And the last thing that I remember buying for myself... See, I've been really good because I don't have time to buy books. Oh, actually, that's a lie. There's one in my bag. Bear with. Okay, so there's one more after this one. But that is Sweet Sorrow by David Nicholls. This is David Nicholls' newest book, which came out over the summer. David Nicholls is the author of Start for 10, The Understudy, One Day, and Us. One Day is my favourite book of all time. I've already read this. I listened to the audiobook, which is read by Rory Kinnear. I listened to the audiobook and absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I talked about it a lot in my last video, which was like a reading wrap-up sort of situation. But this is about a boy called Charlie Lewis, who is in the summer after his GCSEs, and he accidentally, because he wants to spend more time with a girl called Fran Fisher, he ends up in this thing called the company, Full Fathom Theatre Cooperative, and a production of Romeo and Juliet. So he's trying to kind of figure out his life. It's fully coming of age. It feels really YA. It's super good. Like, it's so gorgeous. Like, I love David Nicholls an awful lot, and my expectations for this book were sky high, especially after a few people on Twitter told me how amazing it was after I bought it. So my expectations were really high, and they were met because it's so fantastic. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's a really, really brilliant book. I do recommend. And I said this in my previous video, but if you only read YA or you're a big fan of YA and you want to kind of try some David Nicholls, this would probably be the one to go for, because it's predominantly a young adult novel. I think that's how it feels to me. There are moments in it that are sort of the parts where he's an adult looking back on things and showing glimpses of his adult life, and that's what kind of stops it being fully YA. But like, it's a YA novel, really. And yeah, so if you want to try some David Nicholls and you're a YA reader and you want to kind of try something different, big recommend. But don't feel like you have to. Read YA for as long as you like. I'm old and read YA constantly. The last thing that I bought for myself, and I forgot about it because it's in my bag because it's my current reading book, is Alex in Wonderland by Simon James Green. Simon James Green is the author of Noah Can't Even and Noah Could Never. I couldn't remember the titles of the books, but Noah Can't Even and Noah Could Never, which are two other queer YA, UK YA books. This is about a boy called Alex who lives in a small seaside town. It is also the summer after his GCSEs, I believe. I think it's the summer after his GCSEs. And he is currently trying to like figure out what to do with his summer because his friends have gotten together in a relationship. So he's trying to figure out what he's going to do while they're off smooching all the time. And part of that is him trying to get a job. And he stumbles into this old amusement arcade on the seafront called Wonderland. And he ends up falling into a job there and falling into some new friendships. Hijinks awaits because that's the kind of thing that Simon James Green writes. He writes kind of like awkward, funny YA. Yeah, it's really good so far. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm like 100 pages in, and it's super fun. It's super funny and sweet. Exactly what I expected from a Simon James Green book. I read Noah Can't Even when it was on submission, so it's been a long, long time since I've read it, and I've not read like the finished product, but that's what he kind of does. He does that sort of funny, awkward YA, funny, awkward, queer YA, which I think is definitely a thing that is missing in UK YA, and I'm very glad that he has a voice out there and that Scholastic are doing more books with him. That's a good thing. Long may it continue. Now let's get on to the books that I got sent. So ad gifted. Ooh. So I used to work at Pan Macmillan. I used to be an assistant editor at Pan Macmillan. So I went in to have lunch with my friend Jess, and while I was having lunch with my friend Jess, she was like, "What books do you want to take with you?" And I was like, "Aha, fantastic. This was the weekend after Yalk, so I'd just like seen everything plastered everywhere." So I got 3 books from Jess, the first of which was No Big Deal by Bethany Rutter. I read this really, really early, so I've read a very, very early version of this, and I was chatting to a friend of mine who works there called Sim, and she was telling me that it's changed a lot since then, and so I'm really interested to see the differences and what's new about it. This is getting so much good buzz online. So many people are talking about it, which is great because it's when I read it, it was a fantastic book and it was a fantastic story, and one that is missing from UK YA specifically. It's also got a quote from Julie Murphy on the front of it, an iconic love song to everyone who knows that life isn't one size fits all. Julie Murphy, who wrote Dumplin', so that's kind of freaking cool. But yeah, this looks and sounds amazing. I'm hearing really good things about it online, so I'm excited to read that. Next, I got given a copy of We Hunt the Flame by Hafsah Faizal. This is a big YA fantasy about a girl called Zafira, who has to disguise herself as a man in order to go through a cursed forest and like save her people. It was getting so much hype at Yalk. It was one of the books that I think Pan Macmillan was selling early, so everyone was after it. I've heard amazing things about it. Yeah, I'm really excited to read it. Everyone is talking about it online. I've seen so many people talking about how amazing it is, and this cover is absolutely stunning. Like the detail on this foil, I don't know how well it's going to come up on camera, but there's like little detail on the foil that makes it look even more 3D than the emboss does. I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. This could just be a waste of time. But this looks and sounds amazing. So the next book is one that I actually asked for because I saw that the proofs had come in and I really, really wanted one because one, beautiful, beautiful proof. And two, I remember when I was hearing about it when I was working there and I thought this book sounds perfect for me. And that is Deeplight by Frances Hardinge with this gorgeous copper foil on the cover. Come through. This is about a set of islands called the Myriad, where gods used to reign supreme, and it is about these two boys who dive down to pick up relics from the bottom of the ocean, these old relics of these ancient gods. And that's all I'm going to say because it's possible that I know too much about it already. But that is what I know this book is about. I was talking to Jess about it and she said, and Kat as well, who works there, and they were saying how incredible it is. So this is quite high up on my TBR pile because it sounds great. So yay for this. And last but by no means least, the last book on this list, one that I have a long and complicated history with, and one that I won't bore you with the details of because it probably means that I'd get in a lot of trouble, is Wranglestone by Darren Charlton, which is being published by Stripes Books in February 2020. This is The Walking Dead meets Brokeback Mountain, a sort of zombie YA with romance. Queer romance. I'm just going to read you the blurb. In a post-apocalyptic America, a community survives in a national park surrounded by water that keeps the dead at bay. But when winter comes, there's nothing to stop them from crossing the ice. Then, homebody Peter puts the camp in danger by naively allowing a stranger to come ashore and he's forced to leave the community of Wranglestone. Now he must help rancher Cooper, the boy who's always watched from afar, herd the dead from their shores before the lake freezes over. But as love blossoms, a dark discovery reveals the sanctuary's secret past, one that forces the pair to question everything they've ever known. I read this when it came in submission and I absolutely loved it. I am ridiculously excited to read it again and to dive back into this world and to see how much has changed since I first read it. From what I remember, it's freaking gorgeous with a wonderful romance in it. I have a huge amount of love for this book already, so I'm really, really excited to actually get a chance to read what is an almost finished version of it. I'm also excited to see what the cover's going to look like. But yeah, this is a very exciting one for me, so thank you so much, lovely, lovely Charlie Morris over at Stripes for sending this over. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm just really excited for it, and I'm excited for the rest of the world to kind of read it and experience it and meet Peter and Cooper. So yeah, yay! That's the end of this video, my first haul back. What'd you think of that, huh? Quite a varied selection of books. I feel like I used to say that at the end of every single haul, but that's because I seem to get like a really weird bunch of stuff come through my post box or stuff that I buy for myself. So this is a really fun bunch, I think. I'm just going to do my classic showing you all the things. And so those are all the books. Oh, I'm putting myself in shadow. Get your light, darling. So those are all the books that I have got recently, I guess in the last couple of months or so. A fun bunch. I've already read this one. I'm currently reading this one. So obviously the rest of these are like TBR fodder right now, and things that I hope to read in the near future. Is that not true of every single book on my shelf that I've said that about and not read yet? I feel like I'm looking at my shelves now because they're all over there and they're all screaming at me. You said that about me once. How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, these are all the books. Yay. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to put a thumb on it and to subscribe down below if you want to see more. If you've read any of these, feel free to let me know what you thought of these books. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for all your comments on my previous videos. It's been really nice sort of getting back into this and doing more of these things, and sort of kind of getting back in with you. It's been ages. Anyhow, I hope you're doing well and living your best summery lives. I love each and every one of your faces, and I'll speak to you as soon as I can. Bye!